Yes.
Brilliant. Welcome everybody to the budget meeting of the Cabinet, which is an extraordinary Cabinet meeting. Can I first of all read out the fire procedure? There is no planned test of the fire alarm system during this meeting. If the alarm sounds, please exit the building quickly and safely. Please leave the building by the main route. This will be the route you entered the building. If the main route is unavailable, please use the alternative exits located at the back. Once outside the building, please make sure that you make your way to the old marketplace at the front of the town hall. This is the emergency centre point. Do not re-enter the building until the committee clerk has given authorisation. In the event of a security incident, delegates should remain inside the secure area of the town hall unless unsafe or we are instructed to evacuate. If instructed to evacuate, you will be advised to disperse and move at least 400 metres away from the building or proceed to another specified BDC premises nearby. Before we start, can I draw your attention to the notice in this room regarding recording and the use of social media? The Council permits audio and or visual recording and photography at Council meetings. Procedures of this meeting may also be reported via social media. Can anybody who wishes to record any meeting please indicate now? No? Although be aware that this meeting is being recorded by Bassetlaw District Council. Thank you. So if we now move to the agenda proper, do we have any apologies for absence, please?
Apologies for the Councillor Graham.
Thank you. And I believe Councillor Schuler might be a little late for this meeting. Can I ask if there are any declarations of interest by members? No. Any declarations of interest by officers? No. Then can we move to item 3 on the agenda, which is the forward plan on pages 5 to 14. Does anyone have any comments or questions on the forward plan? No? Then can we move to item 4 on the agenda, report of the Cabinet Member for Corporate and Financial Services and the Cabinet Member for Strategy and Communications. I will take this report. So this report sets out the Council's 25-26 performance and financial outturn position. It provides members with a strategic scorecard of key performance indicators for Quarter 4 in line with the Council's performance management framework, together with a summary of actual income and expenditure compared to the budget, and how any surpluses or deficits have been appropriated to or from reserves. The strategic scorecard shows 5 red, 7 amber and 15 green KPIs and 8 data trends. The Council has refreshed its Council Plan and overarching Vision 2040, outlining how it will deliver bold, inclusive and sustainable improvements for everyone in the district. A performance dashboard of this plan is agreed with Appendix C, which shows that across the 158 total objectives, performance is broadly positive, with 53 on plan and 45 complete, demonstrating strong delivery and progress into business as usual. The general fund outturn position for the year is a surplus one of £278,000 to be transferred to reserves. This compares favourably to the position reported to Cabinet in February 2026, which forecasts a deficit of £293,000. Key variances include additional income from Nottinghamshire Business Rate Pool, increased fees and charges income in neighbourhood services, and an improvement in the staff vacancy allowance since Quarter 3. This is a positive outturn position, but it is important to recognise that the variances are mainly of a one-off nature. There will be a full review of the variances to incorporate into budget monitoring and for the 2027-28 budget setting process. The HRA position for the year is a deficit of £709,000, and this will be met by a reduction in the planned transfer of funds to the HRA reserve. General fund and HRA positions have had a positive impact on the usable reserves and are shown at Table 3. This is the general fund reserves, and they have increased to £18.6 million, and the HRA reserves increased to £3.6 million. These increases in reserves have increased the Council's overall financial resilience position. The budget included just over £1 million of savings to be achieved, and I'm pleased to report that 92% of these have been delivered during the year. Capital expenditure for the year was £32.6 million against a budget of £70.8 million. This underspend has in the main been reprofiled into year and is in relation to schemes that have been reported as underspent in previous budget monitoring reports throughout the year. The underspend has contributed to a reduction in interest payable as borrowing has been deferred until future years. A breakdown of capital expenditure by scheme is included at Appendix D. In summary, this is a positive outturn position with an increase in the Council's overall financial resilience. The recommendations are shown in section 6 of this report. Are there any questions or comments? Councillor Farmer.
Thank you. Just looking at the table on page 23, why are so many of these council projects delayed? And why is it seems impossible for the council to deliver any of these projects on time?
Let's ignore all the good news. Good question. Ms. Luddy, could you respond, please?
Thank you, Chair. So in terms of the projects that have been delayed, there has been significant progress on some of these projects, as we can see recently. Unfortunately, that didn't quite fall into completion in the 25-26 financial year. For example, the new Victory Medical Surgery is nearing practical completion, and there has been significant progress on the Paris Scheme development project. When we undertake large capital schemes, we do have to work with procurement regulations, which can, in some instances, cause delays to ensure that we are undertaking the correct procurement governance, and we are working hard to deliver the schemes that have been approved.
Councillor Farmer.
Thank you. In terms of the business rates write-off for Poundland, did Bassetlaw Council put any opposition into when it went to court in terms of the money they are going to lose?
I think, Councillor Farmer, if you read the papers, we have little choice when there was a decision made by government. But I'm very happy for Ms. Liddy to ask the question.
Thank you, Councillor Charlie, and thank you, Chair. So, in relation to the Poundland business rate write-off, so in this instance, the position regarding Poundland, it's not a discretionary decision by Council in the usual sense. Poundland is currently subject to court-approved company restructure plan under the Companies Act, and that was sanctioned by the High Court back in August 2025. As part of the legal process, the court has determined that different creditors, including local authorities in respect of their business rates, are to be treated, and where such an order is in place, the council is legally required to implement the terms in the same way as any other creditor, and that's what's been outlined in section 3.24 of the report. The council does remain committed to applying the business rate system fairly and consistently, but we do need to do that within the legal framework set by the national legislation and insolvency laws.
Thank you. In terms of when it went to the High Court, what opinion was put forward by the council in terms of the debt owed to this council?
Councillor Farmer, can I just say this isn't a question and answer session just between your officers. And I think Ms. Liddy has already answered that question. We are not able to change what the court has said.
No, but as a debtor, you are able to put forward your opinion prior to a decision.
Okay, Councillor Farmer, we've heard the question. Thank you. Well, if Ms. Liddy answers the question first, please, Councillor.
I was only going to say the debt isn't to us. We collect the debt. The debt is transferred. The business rates don't go directly to the council. You know, this isn't the council's money. This is money we collect on behalf of the authority. We collect money on behalf of, you may be aware of this, you may not, on behalf of the police authority, or the police and crime commissioner, on behalf of the fire authority, on behalf of the county council, and on behalf of the parish councils. This isn't money that's actually affecting our balance, and we follow all due procedures. I don't know if you find that helpful.
Thank you, Councillor Paul. Ms. Liddy.
Thank you, Chair. Just to add, because this is as a result of a restructuring process, this is slightly different to where we have other business rate write-offs. There was no actual outstanding debt balance that we've been trying to chase up, and we've been unsuccessful in doing that. This has become about as a result of the restructuring process. and the level of debt due has been reduced that way, rather than it being an outstanding debt due specifically to Bassetlaw that we have tried and failed to chase up.
Thank you, that's really clear. Councillor Farmer, you want to ask the same question again?
No, it's just in response to council. 40% of business rates are retained by the district council for services, so this actually does have an impact in terms of service delivery in Bassetlaw. So where is the shortfall going to be found in terms of providing services? Is that going to come out of the reserves, or is that going to frontline services?
Councillor McFarlane, if Ms Luddy can answer, that would be great, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Farmer. We do have a bad debt provision in respect of the collection form as a total, and the writing has been there from the bad debt provision, which is normal for any bank.
I think everybody would look at the figures and see that we have a bad debt amount every year, which we cover. And if you also look at the figures, we are amongst the best in the country for collecting these sorts of rates. Any other questions or comments, please? No. So, the recommendations are at 6.1 to 6.7 on page 26 to 27. All in favour? Thank you. I think we can now move to item 5A on the report. This is the report of the Cabinet Member of the Corporate and Financial Services, although Councillor Evans is going to take it.
Thank you, Chair. The Annual Treasury Management Review is a comprehensive document that details Council's financial management over the year 25 to 26, including prudential and treasury management indicators. It also demonstrates consistency with this Council's treasury management strategy. This report provides the facts regarding the outline position for treasury activities during 25-26. It is a strategic document that validates how Council manages borrowing and investment in order to achieve best value for money, which as always is underpinned by a balanced approach to risk management. It is also important to note that a strategy which operates according to the legal framework and best practice guidelines supports the delivery of the Council's budget, capital programme and medium-term financial plan. There are key points for members to note as listed at 3.2, and a summary of net financing costs is given at 4C. The net underspend of 0.6 million achieved for 25-26 represents a variance of 15% on the revised budget. This underspend has supported both the General Fund and HRA in-year revenue positions. Other important highlights of the annual report are that the Council has complied with all the approved policies, limits and indicators set out within the Treasury Management Strategy for 25-26. This includes compliance with the authorised limit for external borrowing, which is the set affordable borrowing limit above which the Council does not have the power to borrow. Council finances have to operate within a strict regulatory environment for which effective scrutiny is essential, and this includes input from the Overdue Scrutiny Committee along with predetermined budget reports to Council throughout the year. Chair, the recommendations at 6.1 and 6.2 are 1. That members receive the annual report on Treasury Management activity for 2025-26 and comments are taken as appropriate for referral on to Council. And 2. That members note that the Treasury Management activities are consistent with the objectives identified in the Treasury Management Strategy for 25-26. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Evans. Are there any questions or comments? No?
Yeah.
Sorry, Councillor Stockholm.
Yes, Chair, I'd just like to say how good it is to get this report again this year, and how it proves that we are working well with our treasury management, and hats off to everybody involved. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you to the finance team.
Sorry, now since I've only got comments, I would like to make a comment. I think you can see from both of these reports how well this council is doing financially. We are hitting most of our targets and not far off if we're not. And in terms of financial situation, I think you can see that we have an excellent and indeed enviable financial position, particularly when you compare our council with many others across the country. So I'd like to say thank you to our performance team, but also to our finance team. I know you work really hard and you're doing a really, really good job, so thank you. So if we move to the recommendations on page 83, 6.1 and 6.2, all in favour? And that's carried, thank you. There are no exempt items and no key decisions, and there is no other business which I consider to be urgent, so the meeting is closed.